Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. I apologize for that sound. It's my dryer, and I have a pair of overalls in there, so they're like clanging around. It is Saturday, and I had planned on getting up today and going out to move the rest of those wood chips and everything. And it's just been a slow morning. I'm really tired. You know that thing on your, if you have a Fitbit, your Fitbit will tell you like what your readiness score is. Mine's a 1. So that's got to be real because I'm feeling it. I'm tired. The last couple of days I've been putting in a lot of effort physically, and probably not getting the best nutrition that I should because I've been lazy. So it's that January slump. Anyway, I do have stuff I need to get done, but it's not going to be a major work day. I have to, because I meant to do this yesterday and totally forgot. Yesterday was Fertilizer Friday. I try to always fertilize my seedlings and the things that are actively growing on Fridays because Fertilizer Friday is, you know, an easy thing to remember. And I forgot yesterday. And I can really see that the flowers in the front garden need it. So I am going to go out there and do that. And I'll show you how I mix it up. I've done this before, but we've got new subscribers. Welcome. I'll just show you what I'm going to do. That will be a relatively quick job. And then depending on how I'm feeling after that, because I've already spent some time in the greenhouse watering in there, I forgot to fertilize. That'll have to be tomorrow. I have to fertilize the seedlings that are up. But I did, I'm going off on all kinds of tangents. Anyway, I got up, had a lie-in this morning, read the paper and stuff like that on my phone. I don't have a physical paper. And then cleaned the kitchen, did the floors, doing laundry, stuff like that. So I have been productive. And I don't really want to just sit around, but I'm really tired today. So I think fertilizing will be a pretty easy job. And then I might run some wheelbarrows of wood chips down to the chicken run. Maybe I'll do a couple and see how I feel. And if that actually helps me perk up, then I'll keep going. I also took a walk around the cottage garden this morning, and oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. There's so many. Normally I wait until like March to start clearing up stuff in the landscape, and I definitely will do that for the front walk. All of the daffodils are starting to come up everywhere, and but the cottage garden just looks awful. It almost has that feeling of like, oh, I kind of wish I could just bulldoze it and start over again. That's not true. There's still plenty of stuff that will look beautiful when it comes back. But right now, things look pretty awful. However, it is January, so it makes sense. So I thought, you know, I guess I could spend some time out there cutting back stuff, pulling out dead stuff, and because that's pretty low key. And then it would at least make me feel like I was being somewhat productive. So I might do that. But I think in this next garden tour, I'm not going to be showing you that part of the yard because there's literally nothing to look at. There's a bunch of like, everything kind of looks dead. I have one snowdrop up. So I think February will be a much better month to see that. But our end of January garden tour, hopefully will be happening tomorrow. I'm going to get my son to film it for me so I can actually be in it. And we'll just do the front garden and talk about what I've got planted there and how things are going. Okay, this is my backpack sprayer. It is, you literally wear it on your back. It's got a hose attached to it, and you can prime it with a side pump. And so it's great because you prime it up and then you just hold the hose and it sprays for you. What I put in here, first of all, there's a screen so you can catch, like if you're doing worm compost, which I do, compost tea in here, this screen is really important because there are usually little chunks of stuff. And if you get a bunch of that in to your sprayer, then it all gets clogged up here. So then you have to take off the end here and clean out this little screen. So it's best if you prevent that to begin with. All right, so what do I use? Like I said, sometimes I make a compost tea, which I've done videos about before, but we'll be doing again because the season is starting. But I alternate. So I do a worm compost tea 1 week, and then the next week I do fish emulsion and kelp. And so this is the brand that I'm using right now. It is a 2302, so very low NPK. It's derived from fish solubles and fish protein hydrolysate. Yes, it stinks. But that smell goes away pretty quickly, although my family will tell you otherwise. It dissipates within a couple of hours. Then I also put in there kelp. This is kelp meal, and it's a liquid extract. So it's another form of fertilizer, but they're both super, super mild, and these go on, it's sprayed on as a foliar feed. You can also mix these up into a watering can and just water the soil, because that will be beneficial as well. But I like using them as a foliar feed. It's quick, and even though it's stinky, it's effective. Sometimes you can see the turnaround if you're seeing things that are looking a little discolored, a little yellow, a little just not very good. Sometimes you can see a turnaround within 24 hours of applying this stuff. So, application rates. Generally, so as a foliar feed, apply 1 gallon of solution per 1,000 feet, 4 ounces per gallon of water to make a solution. So I don't measure because I'm terrible that way. Mostly because this stuff is so mild that, doing a couple glugs isn't going to be a problem. Now, like I said, this is a 5-gallon backpack. So I'm going to do just half, and then I'm just going to put a couple of glugs in of each and then fill it about halfway, maybe a little closer to 3/4 of the way with water. And then we'll get started. Give it a good shake. I am going to use the screen because oftentimes there are particulates in here, in these fertilizers, and I would like to prevent them from clogging up the sprayer. All right. Yep, there's that smell. I'll tell you, some people really hate it. I don't mind it so much because for me, it's that smell is related to healthy plants. All right, there's the kelp. And now we just need to add the water. Okay, so then once it's full and you've got it on your back, all you do is prime it by pumping this, and you'll feel it start to get tight. Then you just pull the sprayer head. And it's a nice gentle spray. All right, let's go get this done. That's all it takes. And I actually misspoke. That backpack sprayer is not 5 gallons, it is 4 gallons. So when it is totally full, it is 32 pounds. So it was a lot easier today to do, you know, halfway, a little over halfway. Also because it's not the most comfortable thing to wear, pokes you in the back and stuff. I have a much nicer one out at the farm. I spent more money on that one. That one's more comfortable to wear, but they do the same job. So what I do at the end is I try to use up all of the fertilizer that I've put in there so I don't waste any, and then I wash it out really well with water, and I run fresh water through the hose and the sprayer because it does. If you leave it in there, it will stink something fierce, and it doesn't matter whether it's fish emulsion or regular, you know, any other kind of fertilizer, it will smell really bad. So it's really important to clean it out. I let it air dry, and then I'll put it back in preparation for using next time. So you saw me, I fertilized pretty much anything with green leaves right now got a spray. So all the stuff in the garden, the radishes and the onions and stuff, and then the blackberry bushes, I got all their leaves, and the roses and the stuff in the pollinator patch that is already in leaf because they're usually evergreen. And then I did plant the row crops. So the other nice thing that I really love about this type of fertilization is you have to go slow. And so what that allows you to do is to investigate each plant. It lets you really just look over everything and see, oh, that one's in trouble, or I've got a lot of, you know, damage from birds or rats or whatever. It gives you a chance to kind of take your time and look through and see what are some other things you might need to address. So I really like it for that reason. Now, if I had multiple acres that I was doing, I would have a giant sprayer on a truck and we'd just be doing it out the window and you wouldn't be seeing all that stuff up close, but that is not my situation. So I enjoy it for being able to look at things closely. Okay, so I do not have the energy, turns out, to move wood chips or compost today. I'm just not going to do it. It's going to be partly cloudy, potentially raining tomorrow, but I'll see if I can get the kids and my husband to help me. I mean, we can knock it out really quickly. I don't have it in me today. So I think what I'm going to do instead is go inside, change my clothes, have some lunch. I mean, it's pretty late. It's 1:30. Yeah, it's past lunch. And I'm trying to finish a sweater that I started last year. I just need to do the sleeves. So I think I'm going to sit down in front of the TV, watch something fun, and knit. I keep reminding myself it's January, it's okay, it's all going to get done. Self-care is really important. When you have a job that requires a lot of physical or mental, work, it is important to take down days sometimes and to rejuvenate. Otherwise, you just will never be 100%. So I'm going to listen to my body and give it what it needs today. Some food, some rest, and some knitting in front of the TV. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. By the time you guys see this, it'll be Sunday, and then whatever we do tomorrow will be you'll see next week. So I hope your weekend has been wonderful, and I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.